In this picture we have a farmer. So the first thing we have is a plowman. Right? Here he is, here's the plowman, he's holding the plow, and he yokes the oxen, he ties the oxen up with a yoke. This is the yoke here, number 3, and these are the oxen, 1 ox, 2 oxen, and he ties them up, or yokes them to the plow. Here's the plow which he's holding, and he holds the plow stilt. The part he's holding in his hand is called the plow stilt, in his left hand, and the plow staff he holds in his right hand. And with that he moves the blade of the plow into the ground here, and he moves the clods of earth and turns them over and cuts the land open. And before this was done, manure was put on the ground, and then when he turns the ground over, the manure then ends up in the ground, so the plants can use it when they grow next season. And he makes furrows in the ground. Here they are, these are furrows, which are grooves in the ground, and here you see some more furrows here. These are grooves in the ground made by the plow. After the ploughing is finished, the farmer sows his seed. Here he is, he's got seed in this container, and he's throwing this, and he's also got seeds here. He's holding it in this little fold in his clothes. He's throwing the seeds out onto the ground, and he harrows the seed with a harrow to make sure the seed actually goes into the ground. This thing is used, it's got sharp metal teeth, and you pull it over the ground behind the ox, and that cuts the surface of the ground and jumbles it all up, so the seeds end up under the ground slightly. Then, after the plants grow, the reaper, here he is with his sickle in his hand. A sickle is a curved sharp knife, and he reaps the ripe corn. He cuts it down with a sickle, and he gathers the corn up in handfuls, and he ties them up into sheaves. Here's a sheaf here, you can see it standing here, and it's been tied up round the middle where I'm pointing. A thresher, what he does is, he's standing here, you can see him just about, and he's holding a stick in his hand, and he's hitting the wheat here. He's threshing it, he's hitting it, and he's in the barn. This building is called a barn, and he's hitting the wheat in the barn, and one thing he can hit it with also is called a flail, which was a stick attached to a chain, and then if you hit it down very hard, that breaks the grains out from the ears of wheat, and then he throws it into a winnowing basket. He throws it into a winnowing basket, and then throws it up in the air. The chaff, which is the stuff on the outside, blows away, and the grains fall down into the ground, and he puts the grain, when it's all finished, into sacks. He has a big sack of grain. A mower, here he is, number 22, he's got a very big blade here. He mows the grass with a scythe. The scythe is a huge blade on the end of a stick. A sickle is a small curved blade, and a scythe is a long one. So the mower is mowing the grass in the meadow. This is a meadow, and then he rakes it together with a rake. Here's the man here, and he has a rake in his hand. Can you see the rake? It's long, and it's got little pointy bits sticking down, so he can rake all the grass up, and he makes it into haycocks. Here they are, 23. These piles are called haycocks, and he piles them up into haycocks with a fork. And then after the haycocks are gathered together, they're put onto carriages, and they're carried away into the hay barn here, and they're stored there until the winter, so that they can feed the cows with something in the winter, because in the winter time the snow is on the ground and the grass doesn't grow, and something has to be fed to the domestic animals. In the village here, you can see in the background, here's the village where the people live. And of course, before modern times, before industrialization, about 90% of people in the world lived in the fields, because doing all of this was very, very difficult. It took lots and lots of people to do all these different jobs. Nowadays, it can all be done by machines, and you have one farmer, maybe 2 farmers, doing the work of hundreds and hundreds of people. But back in the olden days, farming was done by lots of people, and they didn't earn very much money. They were always very poor, except for the farmer that owned the land.